to start off by reading a selection of Shakespeare that's very apropos for entering our playoff elimination time. It's from William Shakespeare's Henry IV, Part 2, written in 1857, same year I got laid. And in the visitation of the winds, who take the ruffian billows by the top, curling their monstrous heads, and hanging them with deafening clamor in the slippery clouds, that with the hurly death itself awakes, canst thou, O partial sleep, give thy repose to the wet sea boy in an hour so rude, and in the calmest and most stillest night, with all appliances and means to boot, deny it to a king? Then happy now lay down, uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown.
In 2013, a degenerate gambling puppet was sent to prison for fixing a fantasy football game. He promptly escaped to the fantasy football underground. He still survives as a fantasy football bookie. If you don't know who to start, if you don't know who to cut, and you have yourself a six-pack of half blue ribbon to give up, maybe you can hire Johnny Vegas.
Come on, Johnny, time to come up and do the show. Go away, Steinoff, I'm sleeping. Johnny, it's time that we come out and do the show. You know this. I don't wanna. Oh, yeah? What if I gave you $5? No. Is Johnny thirsty? You're gonna have to do better than that. Do you want to punch Eli Manning in the head? No. Oh, Johnny. Mrs. Freshly Cupcakes. I'll do anything you ask, son. Anything. Put that back up in the frame. Mrs. Freshly's Cupcakes. Icers and zingers too. They always pep me up when football makes me feel blue. These delicious snack cakes are my sole source of joy. Try some Mrs. Freshly's and be a happy boy. That did the trick. Good job, son. And welcome to week number 11 in the Board People's Fantasy Football League. Oh, it's getting rich, kids. It's getting rich. First off, let's start off the show right. To the Gowanda Thunder and the Irving A-Holes, thank you for not letting me go 0-5 last week and for helping me with some amazing comeback specials. I will be around this Friday to kiss both your asses. Now, as far as the divisions go, okay, here's the fun part. No one has been eliminated from playoff contention. We're going to go over that shortly. But for right now, just know that every team out there is fighting for a shot, and only 4 teams have guaranteed invites to the playoffs. That being the Slaughterhouse, the Terror, the Thunder, and the A-Holes. There are 6 teams fighting. Who's going to win? Let me tell you. Because here come this week's picks. Starting off this week, we've got the Slaughterhouse going up against the Roughnecks. These teams are mirror opposites. 7-3 taking on 3-7. Number 2 in the Global taking on number 5 in the Central. Now, here's the good news for the Roughnecks. The good news is You can't be eliminated regardless of your outcome. Because of the upcoming matches between the Terror and Thunder and the Snakeoctopus and the Vandals, it breaks deadlocks. And it breaks them in such a way that with 2 weeks remaining, you're still not mathematically eliminated. That's your good news. The bad news is you're taking on the number 2 Slaughterhouse on a rebound from a terrible week debut from Tyrod Taylor, who was promptly cut. So, good news, bad news, Roughnecks. Good news, you'll live to fight another day. Bad news, Slaughterhouse by 9. Up next, we have what could be the single craziest, rough and toughest, rootin' tootin'est matchup ever. Terror versus Thunder, with the Central Division title hanging in the balance. The crown is currently worn by the Gowanda Thunder, but the Taylor Hollow Terror want it back. Who's going to win this one? I've had to reach out to a good friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Macho Man Randy Savage. Take it away, son.
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah. In my moment of glory. Yeah, no, I'm living in a nightmare. I'm on my way. And nothing is gonna stop me. Nothing's gonna stop me. And I am the cream. And now, not only the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship belt must fall, but the World Heavyweight Championship belt. I am the cream, yeah. The cream of the crop. And there is no one that does it better. On balance, off balance, doesn't matter. I'm better than you are, yeah. From the top to the bottom. And because I can't handle the Macho Man Randy Savage, the cream of the crop, nobody does it better.
I don't understand a goddamn word that man said. Thunder by 9. Up next, we have what could be the most intriguing match of the whole night. We've got ourselves the High-Dye Hangman taking on the Scobeyville Senators. I know, you're thinking, these are the number 4 and number 5 teams in Global. What's the big deal? Well, here's the thing. I want you to think of this as a lifeboat. Only 4 seats, 5 passengers. Now, this match is going to really make or break these teams, because one of them's going to get in the last seat, but not both of them. And I'm going to go out on a really bold prediction here. I'm going to say whoever loses this matchup is not going to the playoffs. There, I said it. It's on public record. And with that said, I think this game is going to be so close that I'm going to give this the smallest margin this week to the team I think could edge it out. Hangman by 4. Up next, we got ourselves another intriguing matchup when the number 4 Central Division team Snakeoctopus take on the number 3 Central Division Collins Vandals. I know you're thinking to yourself, what the hell, man? A 3 and a 4 team? How can this possibly be exciting? Pay attention, Jack. Here's the deal. Both of these teams are 5 and 5. Got it? Okay, remember those numbers. 5, 5. The other matchup between the Central Division teams, Terror Thunder, they're both 7, 7. You have 2 weeks left in the game. Now, if you take 5 and add it to a potential 2, you have 7. You take a 7 and have a potential 2 taken away, you have a 5. You see where I'm going with this? These two teams might be fighting in what you consider a lousy mid-card matchup. But let's be honest here. This could be the start of a revolution. And for all I know, one of those two teams could wind up sneaking away in the dead of the night with a Central Division crown. And when it comes to being a champion and sneaking away with the crown with nobody seeing you, there's only one thing left for me to say. Vandals by 8. And finally, we have our last matchup of the evening. The Eden Extractors taking on the Irving A-Holes. The Irving A-Holes are the darling of the BPFFL with the record-setting 8-2 record. Number 1, 4-game winning streak. Love this team to pieces. Now, they have a very hard matchup with the Extractors. The Extractors staged an amazing comeback last week and have even gone even further into the signing of Kirk Cousins and adding him to their roster. How can I put this? The Ian Extractors are the Taylor Swift of the BPFFL. No, it's serious. I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift. And there's that one line from that new song, look what you made me do. But I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. I rise up from the dead, it's something I do all the time. That's the Extractors in a nutshell. The Extractors are Taylor Swift. But that's great that you're Taylor Swift and all. It's not going to mean anything to the top team in the BPFFL. A-holes by 15 points. Well, that's what we got going on this week. I'm 27 for 20 for the season. Gonna be a long road. We have 3 weeks ahead, leading to the greatest playoffs of all time. Glory, power, fame, struggle. This is better than an episode of Behind the Music. Tonight on VH1's Behind the Music, the Johnny Vegas Trio. Yeah, when we started off playing in Canada, it was all fun and games. Then management got involved. And then came the rampant drinking. Tonight on VH1, Johnny Vegas, Behind the Music. Well, that's it for this week. Goodbye! Whee! I need a cupcake, Steinoff!
Now we done got that out the way, let's have some fun!
Brought to you by Red's Apple Ale. Crisp like an apple, brewed like a beer.
I'm having a hard time with this today. Hey, Jimmy, you got something to drink? How about a beer? Okay, how about vodka? Stop throwing apples at me!
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go off and get me a soda. I'm gonna get me a beer. Stop throwing fruit at me!
I thought you put the brake on the safety of the car. Gee!